Welcome everyone to another great video. I appreciate you all, especially those who subscribe and watch the videos as soon as they are uploaded. I would like to ask everyone to invite others to this blog and to subscribe. Today we will discuss what our brothers and sisters in Ecuador are experiencing with their recent elected president. Wait, my friends, if you're not from Ecuador or Latin America, please stay tuned because the information I will be providing is relatable to whatever area in the planet you are currently living in. So watch the entire video and I'm sure you will say, wow, this is what's happening in my country, or this is what happened in my country, and will help you understand what took place or what is taking place. So demonstrations against President Lasso continue. The government takes advantage of the state of privilege to repress citizens. We know that riots are very common nowadays. A norm. It's almost a norm. So, and the government doesn't want us to say, hey, we're not liking what you're doing. They don't listen to us. We actually go in groups, right? And demonstrate our dissatisfaction with what they are doing, with their choices. But they have an agenda. Getting paid a lot of money. So they don't listen to us and they're blind about what they're doing because they have hidden interests. They're getting a lot of money and a lot of, let's say, properties are being handed to them. So social organizations report the excessive use of force by the government. And of course, corporations and governments finance a lot of the big media nowadays. So a lot of those journalists, unfortunately, they have sell out to these corporations, to these governments, and they are hiding the truth from us. They only tell us what corporations and governments are allowing them to say. And it's compensation that makes them rich, makes their life a lot more comfortable. But journalists they're supposed to follow an oath of always telling the truth. So let's continue anyways. The current president of Ecuador, Guillermo Lasso, a banker and representative of the traditional right wing. During the last elections in Ecuador, he came ahead with 52% of the votes before Andres Arauz, the Correísta candidate, who reached 47% of the votes. Guillermo Lasso is suspected of fraud. So Arauz had 30% advantage. And let me tell you, my friends, I don't know if you have paid attention, but most people, they already know who they're going to vote for. They don't wait for the last 2 months to decide who they're going to vote for. So for that reason, I believe that there was some kind of fraud that took place. But of course, media, the big media, it's in favor of corporations, so they will not investigate that situation and they will just go along with what corporate is happy with because Guillermo Lasso is working for corporate. We can undoubtedly say the Ecuadorian population who voted for a banker had poor judgment. Why I say that? That's not just my opinion. All renowned analysts would say the same. Right? Have you ever met a banker who says, well, I have all this money, I must share it with the people in my nation? Bankers have a one-track mind, and that is to gather, to gain as much monetary power as possible. So Lasso presented himself as an ordinary citizen who struggled to get to where he is today. Lasso is known as one of the highest shareholders of the Bank of Guayaquil, one of the largest in Ecuador. Lasso painted a picture of himself as a person who made his own fortune without going to college. Citizens seems that they bought the lie if you believe that he won with 52%. So we're supposed to believe that citizens bought the idea that a person that represents the private sector, a banker, will become president to elevate the economy, right? To bring progress to Ecuador, to help the who are economically struggling, right? So Lasso was part of a previous government during 1995 to 1999. So Jamil Mahoud's president imposed a well-known bank crisis, which was in March of 1999. Many Ecuadorians lost their savings, so their money, creating a national economic depression. That gave way to the dollarization till under the dollar. So the bank crisis was the worst economic crisis in Ecuador. And they're still feeling it, they're living it, it's still present. The government of former Ecuadorian President Jamil Mahoud announced a banking holiday that was meant to last one day, but it actually lasted 5 days. During that week, or during that business week, papers were signed. The debt of the private sector was transferred to the public, or to the citizens. That is why right now the inflation in Ecuador is as big as it is. Lasso also favors the free market, which is always disadvantageous to small countries. Explain it. In a free market economy, many people will be left unemployed as their skills are not marketable. Example, the elderly, those who did not get the opportunity to go to secondary school, they will be left behind without any income, will fall further into poverty. Lasso also agrees with the dollarization, as I already said. Adopting the dollar has never improved any nation's economy. Example, right? Ecuador, 21 years, almost 22 years, this in what, two months, 21 years, and the inflation has grown instead of flattened, right? So what are the disadvantages? The country loses the monetary autonomy. Then they have to deal with seigniorage, an important national symbol, right? And a greater vulnerability to foreign influence. So that means, in this case, the US gains seigniorage, prestige, and political authority. So what this means is that pretty much the US runs this country, and any other country that uses the dollar as its. Lasso, Lenin Moreno was the president of Ecuador. Lenin ran as a socialist candidate, who later betrayed the voters, switching ideology, starting a capitalist and right-wing mandate, stopping the economic and social progress the previous president, Rafael Correa, had started. The many capitalist presidents had gave away Ecuador's natural resources. President Lasso is continuing to destroy Ecuador's economy and its environment, has contracts with global industries. So pretty much what Lasso is doing is a continuation of what Lenin Moreno started. So a lot of these global industries contracts started with Lenin Moreno. And that is I would like to ask everyone to invite others to this channel and to subscribe. And don't forget, my friends, help someone in your community. You may be the only one who does. Until the following video, my friends, brothers, and sisters. Ciao, ciao for now.